What's up, guys? Mitchell Watts with Town & Country TV, and today I am sitting inside of a Black Widow Ford Ranger. And in this video, I'm going to show you everything you need to know about the Apple CarPlay system that is brand new with iOS 13. I'm also going to give you a full tutorial on this particular system, and so it's going to be a great video. It's going to be a lengthy video, but it's going to be very thorough. So make sure to watch this thing all the way through. We'll also have some time cards down below, so if you want to skip to specific sections, you can definitely do that. And by the way, if you want to watch the video, the walk around of the Black Widow Ranger, make sure to click up on that card up top, and that way you can see the actual truck itself. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the tutorial. And here we are, we're taking a look at the actual interface of the Sync 3 system. Now, this is not a tutorial of Sync 3, this is going to be a tutorial of the Apple CarPlay system. So without further ado, the first thing we need to do is we need to take our phone, and as you can see, I will just prove to you guys that we are looking at iOS 13. So as you can see right there, the iOS software version is, I'll make sure that the camera can focus in on that. Apparently it's not going to. There it goes, iOS 13. So this is a beta version, so it's going to be a couple bugs, but I wanted to go ahead and get this tutorial out there early to you guys so that way you can kind of see what to expect with Apple CarPlay when it comes out very, very soon, because the Apple CarPlay software is not saved on the vehicle itself, it's actually saved on the phone. So without further ado, the first thing that you need to do is you need to take your cord and plug it in down here in the USB. So that's very, very important. Now the next thing what we'll do is obviously take the USB and plug it in the lightning cord into the actual phone itself. And the first thing that's going to pop up on the screen is it will actually say sync services will be replaced while connected. CarPlay can be disabled. We're going to hit continue. It's going to give you the privacy and terms of use. You can look at that if you want to. And the thing it's going to ask you, do you want to turn on 911 assist? I always recommend turn that on, because what that is heaven forbid you're in an accident and the airbags deploy, or the fuel system is tripped, the fuel cutoff system, because of a wreck. What will happen is the sync system will automatically call 911 for you on your behalf, even if you can't dial or make a phone call itself. And so that's a free setup, a free system that you will never ever have to pay a monthly subscription for, like some of the other software systems out there in the competitors' vehicles. Go ahead and hit continue. All right, and so now what I have to do is I have to go in here on my phone itself, make sure that it's not a little Metallica there for you. So we're going to come back to the home screen here in just a second, but on the phone, what I want to do is I want to make sure that we click, it says allow CarPlay with Sync 3 while the phone is locked. Definitely want to allow that, and then you can swipe up to get back to the home screen of your phone. All right, so now let's focus back in on the actual CarPlay system itself. So the first thing that you'll notice is there's a brand new home screen, and that's what we're looking at right here. So you have a couple different things. You have the Maps widget in the middle right here. You have your home and work quick access to directions, and then you also have the media that is playing on the bottom right hand side. You still have your couple of your app icons, your kind of your dock of your home icons saved over here. And as you probably realized with the old Apple CarPlay, you still had the setup available with Waze. You have the music system through oh my goodness, you still have music through Apple, and then you Apple Music. Oh my goodness, why is that so difficult to say? And then you also have your phone system, but you'll also notice that they have tabs over here, so you can slide over and take a look at what used to look like the old setup. Now here's one of the things I'm going to show you is that you've got a couple different pages. So you've got a couple different more app integrations with this setup. For instance, you've had Google Maps for a little while. You've also had the Waze system for a little while, but you also now have YouTube Music if you want to listen to that. Obviously, I'm going to cover the music here in just a second, but one of the things I want to show you that I have seen for the first time while digging into the software is if you go into Google Maps, that it actually gives you a satellite view on the vehicle itself. It makes it look much more premium than just the normal satellite or the image of the road itself. So that's very, very cool. Now you have the ability to come in here into the gears, and you can actually change that by turning off the satellite map, and it goes back to what you're used to. But it's really nice that Google Maps gives you that ability right there, and all you have to do is download the app for free. So very, very cool setup. Now when you go back to here, you'll notice that I clicked on that home page. I'm going to show that to you to you again. You see how it has down here, it has the 8 different dots, but when I tap on it, it gives me a different looking button. And the reason for that is because I'm looking at the app layout right here, but if I tap that button again, it's going to take me back to this main home screen with the widgets, where the map, which by the way, that's Apple Maps, the directions, and then also you have your music that is playing right now. So very, very cool layout that you have there. If you tap that button again, guess what? It takes you back to your app screen layout. Now, if you ever are using CarPlay and you don't want CarPlay to show for right now, let's say you wanted to do something else on the Ford system. If you tap on the Ford icon, it'll take you back to the Sync 3 system, because it's kind of like 2 totally different software systems that are running at the exact same time. So good information there. If you ever want to go back into the Apple CarPlay system, click right there and it pulls right back up. Now, one of the things I want to show you here is you can go into music, and when you go back, one of the biggest things that they've updated on Apple CarPlay for iOS 13 is going to be your artwork. Now you'll notice that, and as you can see, I've been on a Metallica kick recently, but you've got a lot of different artworks that is going to show up now inside of Apple CarPlay, and it looks fantastic. It makes it look a lot more premium. And if at any point you ever want to see what is playing currently, you have got this little icon up here at the top right hand side, and what that is doing is basically showing you that there is music playing right now. I just have it turned down because of, obviously, for copyright. But if I tap on that icon, you can see what is playing, where I am, you can see the seek, the shuffle, everything like that. Now, if you decide that you want to change the song that you want, you still have the integration with Siri right there on the steering wheel. I'm gonna see if I can show that to you. So this little voice icon, that is what is going to control Apple CarPlay and also Siri when you tap that button. If your phone is unplugged, then tapping that icon is not going to control Siri, it'll control Sync. Now, if you, let's say you don't have your phone plugged in and you still want to control Siri, you can do that. Tapping that button quickly will access Sync, but when it's not plugged in, if you click and hold, you can still access Siri just by clicking and holding that voice icon. So a very, very nice feature that they have for you there. Now, going back to the actual screen itself, trying to get that camera back to where it needs to be, I want to go back to the home icon. I'm going to show you a couple of other really nice features that they have set up. So you'll notice that the Apple Maps is going to look very similar to what it was. You still have the ability to go with a 3D, a 2D, and then you can also see which way is going to be pointing up. Is it always going to be north up, or is it going to have your wherever you're facing is going to be up? You have a couple different options there. You can also search for specific directions inside of here. You can use voice to do that, because this system is designed to keep your eyes on the road instead of on the screen. So you can do most of it with your voice, but you can also got big buttons, big layouts, and easy design for you to use. And then when you don't touch the screen, as you just saw, all of those widgets on the side kind of clear out, so that way you can focus on the content that you want the most. Basically, the biggest thing that they've got here is an easier way to see all of your content. You'll also notice that just like before, you still have all of your contacts right here in your favorites menu. There are people that you've just recently contacted, and then also your entire contact list, as well as your voicemail is also set up on this screen. You can also listen to all your voicemails there. So basically, if you can dream it up with Siri, you can probably do it with this setup as well. I want to showcase to you a couple of other features that I've noticed are new. Now, it may have been on iOS 12, but I surely didn't see it and didn't use it, and that's the calendar app. You can come in here and you can look at all of your different calendar icons in here. And the reason that's important is because if you have a calendar option, meaning that, let's say I've got a meeting at our Pell City dealership this afternoon at 3 p.m. When it comes time to actually notice and showcase that appointment, if I've got the address saved in there, the system is smart enough to go ahead and recommend directions to that location as I'm driving. So, hey, it's time for you to leave now. Go ahead and click there to go ahead and get the rest of the directions. So a very cool setup that Ford has given us inside of that setup. I'm going to zoom in just to make sure that you guys have a clean look at that screen itself. But as I click back here on the home icon, once again, you've got 2 different icons. You just keep tapping and it'll go back and forth to the different setups that you have. Audiobooks is also brought over from the previous setup, and as you can see, I don't do most of my audiobooks through the Apple setup. I do most of my audiobooks through audible.com. And this is not a sponsored video, so I don't really care. But I also want to showcase to you a couple of other things. You've also got YouTube Music is integrated into the system. By the way, I'm saving one of the biggest updates for this Apple CarPlay for last, so make sure that you watch this video all the way through because it's clutch. But you can actually take a look at all of the different options here, recommended music. You can even look at the library of all of the different songs that you played last, the playlist. You can kind of see everything that is going on inside of YouTube Music. So now let's go back in and let's do something for a second. Let's say that we're going to go into the Google Maps, and let's say I want to get directions to Town & Country Ford in Pell City. So you can actually come in here and I can say I want to add a destination and I want to search Town & Country Ford in Pell City, Alabama. And there you go. It'll go ahead and start recommending the direction. It shows you a couple of different options that you can tab through, or you can just go ahead and hit go.
Head northeast on Civic Lane toward 9th Avenue Southwest.
So as you can see, it's going to go ahead and start recommending my directions. And here's what's the biggest information change on Apple CarPlay. So in the past, if you had an app going, or if you, let's say that you had your directions going, you would actually have to have, as you can see, I've got on my phone, I've got the Google Maps playing on my phone and on the screen. In the old version of Apple CarPlay, whatever was on the screen was also on your phone's screen, so you couldn't differentiate the two. Now with Apple CarPlay, with version iOS 13, you now can use your phone independently of the app that is running on the screen. In the past, every single time you would close out the app on your phone, it would lose the directions on the screen itself. So very, very big improvement that Apple has given us is the ability to use the apps on the phone and on the screen independently of each other. So huge, huge update there. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was a little bit lengthy, but I just want to kind of give you guys the opportunity to see what does Apple CarPlay look like with iOS 13.
And avoids a road closure on I-20 East near Birmingham due to construction. You are on the fastest route. You will arrive at 12:07 p.m.
There you go. A pretty cool system update. It's going to read it to you. As we go in through here, I want to show you a couple of the last features. You do have the do not disturb while driving. That's a very nice thing. So every time you use the Apple CarPlay, the phone will not ring. It'll just send it straight to voicemail, and you get to see the message when you get there. It's going to help you with distracted driving. It's pretty nice. You also have this, and this is a very big update, is the appearance. So in the past, the Apple CarPlay only showed a dark mode. Now, if you want, you can turn it on automatic. And so when you're in the middle of the day, everything that we just looked at is going to have a white screen, which is going to make it a lot brighter and easier to see. Now, if you try and do this at night, it's going to blind you just about. So I have always preferred that dark mode, which is another feature of the iOS 13 on the iPhone, is that I've kept my entire phone on dark mode as well, but you do have that ability to tweak it as you are driving down the road. So very, very cool setup, very, very neat. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was helpful to you, and if it was, make sure you subscribe to the channel because we have a lot of cool, fun videos that are hopefully helpful, that actually teach you something, but also showcase a lot of cool options when it comes to the Ford product. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions, make sure to leave those down in the comments and we'll try and answer as many of those as we can. And if you've got a couple of good questions, maybe we'll make another video that showcases and answers those questions specifically. Thank you so much for watching this video and have a great day.